Hello and welcome to the RVK Grapevine's newscast. My name is Valur Grettisson and I'm an editor-in-chief at RVK Grapevine. This jolly little dog here is of course Polly. She's my chief of morale officer and she's doing a damn fine job, in my opinion. Before we start everything, there's a really packed news today. There are a lot of things that have happened in the last 24 hours, but mostly just storms and of course some kind of invasion / peacekeeping in Ukraine. And Icelanders have a response for that, of course. But before that, we have the Winter Darkness box. A bit dramatic name, but I like it. I'll allow it. And we have caps like this, which is really fitting right now because there is a storm going on, although you can't really see it here. But the moment you go, well, if you were here just 3 hours ago, I would not have been able to stand here. I'll show you exactly why. So, on with the news and with Polly. Yes, no more. First of all, there was a storm warning yesterday and this morning actually, and this is the second red warning in Reykjavík this month. This is highly unusual. We haven't seen this for the longest time, not because there is also always like really good weather, but there is this winter has been particularly hard after like in this new year. Like the red warning, of course, we have a color system when it comes to weather. We have yellow warning, which is just bad weather. Orange warning, which is like you should not be traveling that much around the country. And the red warning, you can't really go outside. These warnings are, we take them very seriously and there is a reason for it. For example, in Hveragerði, you know this town perhaps, it's in the south of Iceland, like when you go to Selfoss and you go down like a huge hill. Let's go here. You can see this small, very nice town and there are a lot of like greenhouses there and such, and even like it's a thermal area there also. But they have, in 2011, they decided to have like a gymnasium and it was inflated. And I have to say, at the time, people was very like, they weren't really sure, like, is this safe? Because, well, weather and wind. But it was actually there for 10 years. But last night or this morning, that changed very rapidly when there was so strong winds that it actually blew up and was swept away into I don't know where, and there was a lot of things inside the house, of course, and it went all over the place, into the hills and so on. And so there is a whole huge gymnasium, and it was huge, by the way, and it literally disappeared yesterday. And that's, of course, because the wind it was incredibly high, and I'll tell you a little bit about that later. Also, there were a dozen of people stuck in their cars in Hellisheiði. It's basically the moor, and then you come down of the moor and down to Hveragerði, basically the same area. There was so much snow that they got stuck there and people were there for hours. But there was an interview with actually a couple, older couple, and they were in one of these cars. And they said it was no problem. They had enough gasoline to keep them warm, but they were completely stuck and they were just waiting for the search and rescue team to help them out of the cars. Yep. And we have a video actually from Haraldur. He owns this company called activityiceland.is, which is actually a tour company, and he has like a huge car, and he was able to drive past these people last night, and he took this all on video, and you can see it like how stuck these cars are. And people were there for up to 6 hours until the search and rescue teams actually came and they saved them. Yeah. Huh. And hundreds of people were in these cars sought shelter in a health center, which is always seen by the Red Cross. This is always like this in Iceland. And nobody was hurt or anything like that. People weren't even cold, they were just doing fine. Well, I'm lying about that though. Some people were actually cold, but they weren't and perhaps a little bit wet, but it was not like a life-threatening situation. It's basically what happens when you are driving in a nasty weather in Iceland. And a lot of wind here also. The weather hasn't gone down. It's not like it's not as bad as it used to be. It's much better. And also roads in Reykjavík here in the city, they were literally turned into rivers. Basically because we had so much snow and there was so much heat. Heat is like +1 or something degree, but a lot of rain also. Meaning that the snow was basically melting, filling the streets, which meant that a lot of pedestrians, people are driving around, they went into these waters, and the cars, of course, got shut down. Oh. So, the rescue teams were more or less incredibly busy saving all of these people, and it took time and effort. Other people, like search and rescue people, they were actually like in whole suits, and they were trying to get the snow away from the sewers to get the waters down. But it went slowly. But it was interesting interviews. You can see that at Vísir.is, there were like these two guys, and they were doing it, and it's a shitty job, but somebody had to do it, and they were basically trying to clean the streets on their own. So, those that were hoping to catch a flight today, not in luck because, well, wind. The wind is so strong that no airplanes can fly here. Whoa, perhaps go here. No airplanes can fly, take off or land. Meaning that there has been no flight since late yesterday, and that means that they're going to try to open up, try to start flights again at 3 o'clock today. Now it's like 1 o'clock, but it's I mean, I have to say I'm not optimistic that this will actually work out. So there was also a power outage in the south, and this will cause huge problems. First of all, the power outage in itself is going to cost hundreds of thousands of dollars. There was a lot of damage because of this. That's it. You like the storm? And this means that whole towns. Even the whole island of Vestmann Islands are completely without power. This is obviously problematic for a simple reason. No power means that some people can't heat their houses. And in Iceland, that can be a life-threatening situation, especially in weathers like this. Not only that, but in schools they couldn't offer hot meals at noon and so on. And it's a huge operation that the civil guard as well as the search and rescue teams are trying to solve right now as I speak. And I hope actually that this will go as well as possible. That's it. We're gonna try to throw here into the wind. One more! Ah! No! Wait, or we can just go here. We're back on? Okay. So, the weather is still going on, but like I said, this is nothing compared to what was happening yesterday. We're gonna try to find like a better place, or perhaps just do it here, I don't know. But the thing is that on top of everything, not only did we have a nasty weather, we also had to evacuate 28 people from the Patreksfjörður. It's a town in the west of in the Westfjords. We have covered it before. One of my favorite towns. Yet, I think we're gonna lose the disc. Whoa. Hey, Cody. Cody. Polly. Cody. Polly. Cody. Polly. Polly. Cody. Cody. Polly. 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 Cody. So I tried to throw the disc over there, but it ended up on the street. Let's find a better environment here. So there were 28 people that were actually evacuated from Patreksfjörður, meaning that it was basically because there was a threat of avalanche in the mountains nearby. This is not a new thing, but of course when it's a lot of snow, well, it's always especially when you live near the mountains, there is always a possibility of that. Also, a trawler in Seyðisfjörður is called Gullver. They were actually measuring the wind last night, and they measured up to 40 meters per second. But not only that, an anemometer, I think I'm saying that correctly, the gadget that actually measured the wind, it actually was blown off the ship in the end when they got that high. And not only that, just to show you a little bit how the situation was yesterday. Lilja Rannveig, she is a member of the parliament for the Progressive Party. She's a farmer in Borgarnes, or Borgarbyggð. And she is our youngest MP in Iceland. And she actually was recorded yesterday in her farm where she was swept over the street nearby her farm. You get to see that video. It is downright hilarious. So, into serious stuff. Yeah, we're gonna. This is gonna go badly. No. It's hard to walk here, as you can see. So into more serious stuff. There were news, of course, yesterday that Russia had acknowledged the independence of the Donetsk and Luhansk in Ukraine, and this meant that they sent in peacekeepers into Ukraine, basically. This sounds good on paper, but it's obviously not what it is. This is some kind of an escalation in the tension between Russia and Ukraine. You've probably all been watching this and know this probably better than I do. But the thing is that the Icelanders like Icelandic politicians are quite shocked about this and have condemned this in the hardest possible way. And for example, our Secretary of Foreign Affairs, her name is Þórdís Kolbrún Reykfjörð Gylfadóttir. I know it's a mouthful, but so it goes. She has condemned Russia's recognition of Donetsk and Luhansk under the threat of military incursion. And she says it is a clear violation of international law and Ukraine's territorial integrity. Then she adds that this is not acceptable. Russia must return to a path of diplomacy and honor its international commitments. The same goes with the president of Iceland, Guðni Th. As well as Katrín Jakobsdóttir. She is our prime minister, and she was even harder when, she was harder. How do you say? She condemned this harder, something like that. And she said that she was very concerned for innocent civilians in the region, and she added that this was an unacceptable violation of international law, and escalation and armed conflict is not the solution to the current challenges. And she also said that the door for diplomacy must remain open. So, as you feel, as well as I do, this is of course on boiling point, literally. This is, we have not seen this big armies in Europe since the Second World War. There are well over like 150 to 200,000 soldiers in this area, and this is something that we have not seen for the longest time, and it's definitely a concern. I don't know what to say about this, but of course this is basically doesn't look good. We're gonna cover this a little bit more later on. Today is more or less about bad weather, and it's almost hard to walk here. We're just happy that we're not caught in the wind right now. And just perhaps in the end, of course, I just want to tell you thank you for watching, of course. Please like and subscribe, and just to end it on a good note. I think we should just watch the MP being blown over the road again, right? So, thank you, and see you on Thursday. Happily. Fara þangað, já.